The Intel Core Ultra 7 to 70K Plus currently is the best all-rounder CPU in the market. It's the one you should get if you want to do a bit of everything and do it well, on the mid to high end. This CPU is so good that it rendered the Core Ultra 9 285K basically pointless, and that unless you really want to extract every last frame from an RTX 5090 in competitive gaming, basically makes X3D CPUs from AMD pointless. So with that said, welcome back at ImWateringPSUs, and here we are with the review of this nice 270K Plus. Now, spec-wise, it's still an 8P core and 16E cores for a total of 24 core CPU, like the 265K, and they went ahead and raised the frequency to up to 5.5 GHz. However, the main changes, yes, they also include support out of the box for up to DDR5 7200 MHz, making it easier to reach the 8000 MHz in XMP that we need to get the absolute most out of this. We covered already how even with the initial launch of the Core Ultra 9 285K, if you ran that with 8000 MHz RAM of the right kind and overclocked it, we could reach an X3D CPU, the 9800 X3D specifically. And here they actually raised the D2D and NGU by factory by 900 MHz. That's a big increase, and that's basically what I was telling everyone to do previously. I was saying, I don't know why Intel isn't left so much margin here for overclocking, but now they fixed it and they built it into the CPU, making it a lot faster. They also improved the scheduler and a lot of stuff software-wise in Windows, making this really good. Also, they are extremely thermally efficient. So a lot of people still are scared from 14th gen overheating and basically cooking themselves until they were broken. But the new Core Ultra CPUs are very power efficient. So power efficient that they were actually underperforming a little bit at launch. That was the problem. But that's now fully fixed. This CPU comes in at $299, and at that price, it is absolutely insane. Currently, I think the other best CPU in the market is a 250K Plus, still from Intel, and that's the better value one, because the performance is so close. In single thread, it's basically the same. You just lose a little bit in multi-thread, which you may not need unless you do heavy productivity. However, the thing is, for just $100, in a $2,000 or $3,000 computer, oftentimes it's just worth to buy this one. And that's why I think it's the best CPU in the market for versatility. This absolutely destroys the Ryzen 7 counterpart in productivity. There's not even a comparison really. You can only compare this to the Ryzen 9 for productivity. You can compare this to the X3D CPUs, where of course the 9850 X3D specifically still pulls ahead by a significant margin. So if you really want to game competitively, that's still a CPU to get. But if you want to stream, edit, do a little bit of everything, save some money also, and have a more efficient computer, this is what you need to get. Now, you can run this on a relatively cheap air cooler, fine. But if you run this on a high-end water cooler, then you can go ahead, undervolt it, but unlock the power limits, or just straight up overclock it, and you can get a ton more performance out of it. Again, my recommendation is, even in these times where RAM is expensive, try to get fast RAM. 8000 MHz would be ideal, but even if you go with cheap 6000 MHz RAM, my verdict still is the same. This thing is great. You also don't need an expensive motherboard for it. An expensive motherboard is going to help you dramatically for RAM tuning, but you can run this even on a B860, save some money, get a decent cooler, save some money on the cooler too, get some cheap RAM, and still get basically all the performance, have a beast in productivity. Yes, you may lose a little bit in high or 1% low FPS, sure, if you don't have the perfect RAM setup and perfect cooling, but for productivity, this is a very efficient productivity beast. I am very curious to see what the answer from AMD will be, because currently the Ryzen 5 lineup is getting destroyed by the 250K Plus, and the Ryzen 7 lineup is getting destroyed by this. And one may argue that the Ryzen 9 lineup is also getting destroyed by this. Literally, the only thing you can buy currently from AMD is either cheap CPUs or previous gen with X3D or current gen with X3D. The rest, in my humble opinion, as someone who's not biased, I recommend any brand the same. I don't care. No one is sponsoring me. I think that's the only reason why you would go with AMD and not with those brand new Plus CPUs from Intel right now. I'm also very hyped about the new generation of Intel. That's also the only reason why you wouldn't want to buy those. We can talk about it briefly, and that is the new generation is going to have a new motherboard, new socket, and you won't be able to do a drop-in upgrade. So if you invest in a new CPU now, you will then have to change your motherboard too if you want to upgrade in the future. But CPU like this is probably going to serve you for quite a few years. So I think that's really not important. I think expandability is more important if you buy a cheaper, lower-end CPU, because chances are you're going to keep it for less time, or you may want to upgrade to the next generation sooner. But for high-end, I don't think it matters too much. However, as usual, I want to hear what do you guys think. Do you guys agree with me or disagree with me? Do you like the brand new Intel CPUs or don't you? Let me know down below. If you watched the video this far, you may want to drop a like and subscribe. You can also now become a member to support me, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.